everybody, it's that time of the week again. It's time to talk about episode 6 of Shadowhunters of Men and Angels. The episode starts off with Clary and Simon arriving at Magnus's place with Luke to have him healed, and Jace walks in shortly after, all bloody and banged up from crashing Luke's car. Yeah, I think Luke's gonna have a talk with you, Jace. Clary in this episode is helping Magnus set up this spell/cure for Luke, and during all of this, Magnus is telling her about the uprising and her father and her mother and Luke and the whole circle deal and how all of that went down. It's a very interesting way that she's learning about this, and especially having it colored by Magnus's warlock perspective. He's really not holding back too much, but he is holding back a little. He's very aware of Clary and how she's vulnerable right now about all this. And when Luke is finally healed, he lets him fill her in on anything he might have missed. Because when he was telling Clary this story, it really was supposed to be Luke, but Luke made Magnus go ahead and tell her stuff because he thought he was going to die. With Simon and Jace in this episode, we get a lot of cool scenes with them. Magnus sends them to go get the ingredients for this spell that he has to perform to cure Luke, and he also requests for them to fetch Alec because he claims he needs his strength to be able to complete the spell. And he says to them he needs virgin Shadowhunter energy, and Simon goes, "That explains a lot." And it's great. Jace is still completely confused about what the heck is going on, and I cracked up laughing at this point. So when Simon and Jace are trying to get all these ingredients, Jace starts getting very suspicious of Simon, especially when Simon takes Jace's dagger and holds it to Jace's throat, and then Jace knocks him to the ground. He asks Simon what happened at the vampire hotel, and Simon's like, nothing. But Jace was like, yeah. He pretty much called bullshit at that moment, and it was great. Simon even goes so far as to start hallucinating Camille again, and then sees his dead body drained of blood. Poor Simon. I feel so bad for him. Another thing that happens with Simon in this episode, we're shown him very obviously in front of people licking blood off his hand, and nobody sees him do it. And I don't know. I can't believe nobody saw that. Probably some of the coolest parts of this episode were all of the flashback scenes when Magnus was telling Clary about the circle. We saw a young Jocelyn, a young Luke, and a young Valentine taking on the Clave and messing up the chords and killing a bunch of people, and Valentine going up against Luke and Jocelyn when they challenged him because he went cray cray, and it was all good stuff. I'm gonna get back to this because there are a couple of things that were changed in the storyline that I'm a little iffy about. Okay, I think it's about time to talk about the Lightwoods in this episode. Talk about huge family reunion time and us finally getting to see Max Lightwood on screen. We weren't given that in City of Bones, the movie, but we have a Max, and he's adorable, and I cannot wait to see more of him. I'm so happy with this. I'm so happy. I'm almost in tears. I'm so happy with this. We see some really cute family moments between Alec and Izzy and Max, and how Max got in trouble in Mumbai for claiming he was drawing a nourishment rune, but he clearly knew that he was drawing one to start a fire. It was so good, you guys. It was so good. We see Robert Lightwood, their father, giving... He gave Izzy a Shadowhunter cookbook, and she's all excited about her gift, and she doesn't get all mad at him because he gave her a cookbook, essentially telling her, yo, your cooking still sucks. Here, take this and learn things. Some other great things with all these moments with the Lightwoods in this episode, we're shown so many different parts of their familial bond, and we see a really awesome scene between Alec and Maris, and how he's saying he'll do anything he can to help their family get in good with the Clave again. And he just doesn't realize what his mother and father want to do, but Izzy comes and tells him, yo, they want to marry you off. And this is very problematic because his parents do not know he's into guys. And poor Alec, I just want to hold him and comfort him and make him feel better. When all this is going down though, Izzy makes the decision to grow up, change her wardrobe big time, sends a fire message to break up with Meliorn, and to really start being serious with her role as a Shadowhunter. Her mother really pushed her in this direction because she told Izzy how much she was like her when she was younger and just trying to rebel and do her own thing, and it didn't turn out too great for Maris, and she wants something different for Isabel. So Maris doesn't hate her daughter or anything like that. She just wants more for her and is giving her tough love. The Lightwoods are notorious for that. Tough love. So when Alec is told by Isabel about their parents' plan to marry him off, he takes off to Magnus's to help Magnus help Luke, and we get so many awesome Malik scenes, and I just wanted to cry. I was just so full of joy at this point. Harry and Matthew are amazing, and I just can't wait for more of this. It was perfect, and my favorite quote of this episode, which I'm going to get to, was something Magnus said to Alec. When Luke is finally healed, he has Simon go and get Clary, and he has a talk with her about the past and tries to clarify things that Magnus was unable to. And at this point, he tells Clary about how the box that says JC on it has nothing to do with the Mortal Cup, and it actually stands for Jonathan Christopher, the brother that her father killed. And oh, Clary looks just so shell-shocked, and I feel so bad. Especially when Luke is trying to help Clary remember things about her past so she can remember about the Mortal Cup. And then later on in this whole conversation, she pushes on the box that says JC on it, and it goes straight into her sketch pad, and then things start to click with her about what might have happened to the Mortal Cup, what her mother might have done, and it was great. Now I think it's time to talk about some of the changes in the episode that I was a little surprised by. One big change was apparently in the show version of this storyline, Luke and Jocelyn fell in love when she was still married to Valentine. This is completely news to me because in the books, he's been in love with Jocelyn his whole life, but she doesn't fall in love with him until way later on, and it's after he is a werewolf and all of that. So I don't know if it was the best change to make. Another thing that they changed was what prompted Valentine into experimenting on himself with demon blood, downworlder blood, all of that. Apparently it's because he's trying to win back Jocelyn's heart. Okay, that's an interesting twist. All right, so let's talk about the end of the episode and my favorite quote. At the end of the episode, we are seeing Alec and Magnus having drinks, and it's so cute. Alec is still very wary around Magnus, and he doesn't know how to react to him, and just Magnus is so blunt and trying so hard to help Alec just be himself. And at this point, this is when we are given one of the most amazing quotes so far in this show. So this is what Magnus said to Alec, and it made my heart soar when I heard it. For over a century, I've closed myself off to feeling anything for anyone, men or women. You've unlocked something in me. Such an amazing line, delivered perfectly, and something that Magnus would definitely say in the books. And the reaction on Alec's face was priceless. All in all, I thought this was a pretty great episode, and I just can't wait for more. I still have a couple of issues, like I've said, but I'm learning to let some of them slide because it's an adaptation and we can't all get what we want. We just have to be happy with what we are getting, that we are getting this show. And if we keep watching it and the ratings keep going up, we might get a second season. And the more seasons, the better the show will get. Look how Vampire Diaries started out. It was rocky, but it climbed. And look at where it is today. I hope y'all enjoyed this recap and review. Continue to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.